All right, welcome back to what is most likely going to be the last video that I do for today, and it is a doozy. And I'm sure all of you know it's in the air. It's on the interwebs. It's on the news pretty much on the every hour on the hour. It is the leak of all leaks from the Supreme Court regarding Roe v. Wade. Now, um, just to start from the very top, I think this leak was shameful on whoever put it out, because this is obviously in my opinion, this was coordinated, because this was a draft opinion by Justice Alito that was written in February, which means that this has been on hand for a couple of months, and is now, since it is eminent that they're going to be making their a final decision to overturn, well, not overturn, but essentially send Roe v. Wade and abortion and issues back to the states where it rightfully belongs. And this is the misconception that everybody has. Roe v. Wade is not banning abortion. It's basically sending it back to the respective states and allowing federalism to work, and have the states vote on how they would like to relegate abortion access. So places like California, Oregon, Washington State, Massachusetts, New Mexico, Colorado. I mean, who knows? Like, I'm just kind of throwing New York. There you go, New York, Delaware, New Jersey, like places like that are going to have the same exact abortion access, if not even more unfettered abortion access. They'll probably even pay for you to fly out there and have an abortion party, which is kind of sick if you think about it. But those laws will remain intact, and it's basically allowing the country to operate the way it's supposed to. Less federal overreach, less federal government interaction among the states, and letting the states decide how they want to regulate these types of issues within their own borders. And I am in full support of that, regardless of what the issue is. I'm in full support of that, as long as it's not violating, of course, the Constitution or anything like that. And the Constitution does not say anything about abortion. It does not. So, and that's just a fact. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Facts don't care about you. It's just the way it is. Now, to basically, just to go over everything, as I said, I think this leak was really bad, and I think it was coordinated to try and stir up some controversy here, and boy has it. But apparently this article, I had a bunch of things put together already, screenshots and stuff, but I saw this is from a few hours ago. There's apparently been another leak. The Washington Post, this is from New York Magazine, Intelligencer. Apparently the Washington Post reported yesterday, that as of last week, the 5-member majority to strike Roe remains intact, according to 3 conservatives close to the court. So apparently the Post story is focused on the waning influence of Chief Justice John Roberts. The fact that this guy has any influence at all on the court is astounding. Who reportedly favors effectively gutting Roe. So, I mean, at least he's being somewhat useful, instead of overturning it outright. And I'm like, this is a compromise, and this is where it needs to go. And overturning it means sending it back to the states. Doesn't mean banning anything. And is apparently still attempting to sway one of the 5 justices in the majority to his side. Roberts' position was also leaked to CNN just hours after Samuel Alito's draft majority opinion came out. Roberts later said in a statement that the draft opinion, quote, does not represent a decision by the court or the final position of a member on the issues in the case, blah, 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 blah. So, of course, he's going to say that, because Obviously, no decision has been made. So, of course, they're going to say that, but basically, this has caused quite a controversy. And the misinformation out there, the lies that are being spread, I mean, I pretty much outlined, and there's really not more to say outside of that. I pretty much outlined it just a minute ago, what this decision ultimately does. And, no matter how many times you say it over and over and over again, you're going to still see the same people. Once this decision is finally announced and verified and made official, you're going to get the same song and dance, banning them, banning this, banning that, the government's restricting bodily autonomy, women's rights, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, it gets sickening to hear over and over and over again. But, there's only so many times you can say until you're blue in the face saying the same thing. It's not banning anything. It's sending it back to the states. Okay? If you live in Texas, if you live in Alabama, if you live in Florida, sorry. Nice places to live, but you're going to have to deal with maybe making some more conscious decisions on what you do in your bedroom life. But if you live in places like California, like I said, California, Washington State, Oregon, New York, you're not going to have any issues. You're not going to have any problems whatsoever. So, and even to people who are outside of those states, like I said, especially in places like California, this is not outside the realm of possibility for California. They would probably fly you out there if your situation was, quote, dire enough, which means any situation. And there'd probably be like a bucket list of celebrities who are willing to put money into the pot to fund that operation. So, with that being said, I wanted to get this. I wanted to go over this article real quick. So, time to go over some things. Shannon Bream, from the President of the United States, are basically our shell of a man in office. I directed my Gender Policy Council, literally what? And White House Counsel's Office to prepare options for an administration response to the continued attack on abortion and reproductive rights. We will be ready when any ruling is issued. There's not going to be anything they can do. There's not going to be anything you can do, because if it's overturned, there's nothing they can do, because the Supreme, it's going back to the states. So not really sure what they're planning on doing. This was from May the 3rd, this is from last week, 6 days ago. But I really don't see what else they could do besides something that's completely unconstitutional. But hey, that's not outside the realm of possibility these days. Virtually everything is unconstitutional these days. So I'm really curious as to what he means by we will be ready when any ruling is issued. I'm very curious on the wording there. And, of course, there were protests. There's going to be protests until, the harvest moon. It's going to be protest after protest. You can see here, this is outside of Yale Law School. This is the future right here of the justice system here at Yale. You can see the very well-written and intelligently thought out messages on the sidewalk in sidewalk chalk. And this is from a Noah Pollack. This is how the woke toddlers at Yale Law School are responding to the Dobbs leak. A rage fest in front of the law school in sidewalk chalk. The best law school in the country, they say. Yes, these are the people that are going to be working in the justice system not too long from now. Really makes you wonder. And this obviously has brought out probably some of the best memes I've ever seen. I'll get to the memes in a moment. This is from Senator Melissa Melendez, someone in California, To combat the Roe v. Wade decision, Democrats in California have introduced SB 1142, which would invite women across the country to come to California for an abortion paid for by California. Planned Parenthood is salivating at the thought of the money they will make. I don't know who Senator Melissa Melendez is. Maybe she's a Republican. I honestly don't know. The only reason I think she's a conservative is because of that Planned Parenthood statement at the end. Which is true. They're going to make a ton. In states where abortion will be completely unregulated, they're going to make a killing. And just like I said a second ago, I had read this a few days ago, and I pulled this up and I for the video. But as I said, of course, California, like I said, they're going to pay women across the country to come to California for an abortion, paid for by California taxpayers. So sorry, what few conservatives are left out there in California who are against abortion. Your tax dollars are going to be funding it, whether you like it or not. And here we go. More protesters outside. This is from May the 2nd. Outside of the Supreme Court, and there's protesters and counter-protesters. I stand with Planned Parenthood signs tonight outside of SCOTUS, who arranged to get those signs to the court tonight. The leak was clearly a coordinated strategy and effort. Now, I was going to get to that. You could clearly see these signs, professional signs, were obviously distributed. So it really makes you wonder about, how coordinated was this leak? It really makes you think. And just as a quick side note, I was thinking about this as well. Now, all of a sudden, everybody in the media and everybody on the left are all of a sudden talking about women's rights. Well, wait a minute. Well, does that include trans women? Does that include non-binary? Is that all inclusive to the trans community? Because if I'm remembering correctly, it was our very own Supreme Court nominee, now Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, Brown Jackson, I think, who said that she couldn't define what a woman was because she's not a biologist. Does that mean she recused herself from the ruling on this case? I don't know if she was brought on to the court in time to partake in this case or not. I'm not sure, but still, the question is still there. Like, would she recuse herself because she can't define what a woman is because she's not a biologist? Does that mean the rest of the justices should recuse themselves as well because they're not biologists? It really makes you think. All of a sudden, they know what a woman is now. Oh, this world, I tell you. This is also another one on protests. Now, apparently, this is for in the next 2 days. This is on this coming Wednesday. There are still a number of unanswered questions about the Ruth Sent Us group organizing protests at the homes of the 6, quote, extremist justices in response to the leaked draft opinion. Announcing Walk By Wednesday at the homes of the 6 extremist justices, 3 in Virginia and 3 in Maryland. If you'd like to join or lead a peaceful protest, let us know. Yeah, peaceful. That's clever. The website notes that stipends are available for protesters. Who exactly is paying for these stipends? More poignantly, who is funding the threat against the Supreme Court? Are you a muralist chalk artist? Are you a graphic designer who would like to contribute remotely? Large-scale art will be included in the protest against the Supreme Court. Stipends available. To apply, please email us at info@ruthsent.us. Paying people to protest or, I guess, make art, or signs. I guess that's what they're trying to pay. But it really does make you think. Let's see. What was next on my list here? Oh, yeah, here we go. Progressives have given away their 2 favorite go-to responses on abortion, and I agree with this wholeheartedly. My body, my choice rings pretty hollow after vax mandates. It's a women's issue. Is tough if there's no definition of a woman. Exactly my point. I agree with that wholeheartedly. And I've been saying that since the vax mandates were even thought of. I was saying, what happened to the whole my body, my choice argument? And they get really upset when you bring that up. Let's see. There was this. Oh, yeah. Here we go. This was funny. This actually made me laugh. One of the pro-lifers at the SCOTUS protest walked into the middle of the pro-abortion crowd and yelled, "Seethe!" Cope and seethe. Now, this is probably the best one. Anarchist Collective shares instructions to make do-it-yourself abortion pills. Now, here's the thing. This is medicine that was designed for horses and livestock. I forget what it was for, what the actual for, but it's literally horse medicine to induce abortions. Thanks, Tim Pool. But and this is months later from criticizing everybody for taking ivermectin and calling it horse paste. It's too much. It really is too much. Like, we truly are in some really special times. Now, the memes have been great. The memes have been great. Even memes that aren't memes, just pictures that will forever be memed. I wish my mom had aborted me. Tell me you have some underlying mental issues that you would like to, that you need to have addressed without actually telling me that. And then this face just says it all. You could pretty much put in caption right underneath, "If only you knew how bad things really are." And then this person says, "Culture of death breaks my heart." And it is kind of sad, to think that. Like, it's just ridiculous. Sometimes all you can do is laugh. It really is. This one's one of my favorites. Mandatory vaccines now. My body, my choice. And the last one not the last one. I got one more. American women when they can't murder a child in a state they don't live in. You gotta throw humor on it, man. Because like I said in the last video, sometimes all you can do is laugh. And then, of course, the last one here, Cruz getting a good zinger in there. Reporter, quote, "Senator, why do you think this was a liberal clerk who leaked this? Do you have information that suggests that?" Senator Cruz says, quote, "Because I'm not a moron. Because I live on planet Earth." Very eloquently said, Senator. So regardless of where you stand on this, I don't want to get into the whole abortion debate and all that stuff. I mean, I know where I stand, and you could probably guess where I stand. And to me, this is on a legal standing. This is a state's issue that should be on a state-by-state basis. Let the people vote. Let the people vote. Let democracy actually work for a change, and let the people vote on how they want their states and their representatives to handle abortion. And let it, and then let it go. Just let it go. With that being said, this is going to be the last video that I actually have time for. Unless something crazier happens on this Monday, I may have time because I'm actually teleworking today because I have a doctor's appointment in a couple hours. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all later. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe on the way out. Have a good day.